doctrine, life as a vocation, Belmont growing in vocation. I could never have imagined that the divine providence, in which I have always had the greatest confidence and which has always helped me in a palpable way, would have chosen such a weak instrument to found a religious congregation. All glory belongs to that God of goodness to whom I humbly thank for having entrusted me with such a mission. It is true that he gave me a powerful help in the person of the Bishop of Bele, Monsignor Devi, who was our father according to God and whose wise counsels were to me like inspired messages. He was the one whom God destined to give birth to the mustard seed which I had formed in another diocese. It was then to be sown and to take deep root in this way, to which I returned in 1826. As soon as I was able to open my heart to the Holy Bishop of Bele about my vocation, about the association, I wanted to found about the trials to which divine providence had wanted to subject me from the beginning. He told me that I must not be discouraged. He promised me his help and protection and even his financial support if necessary. From that time, I returned to my diocese of origin until 1829. I was sent to several parishes as a catechist. I devoted myself to this holy ministry with great joy and tried to give as much solemnity as possible to the children's first communions. I prepared them with a retreat for this event. I gave catechesis, especially in Champdor, Les Dombes. I also explained it in other places, such as Brenod and Hauteville, where I also taught and was employed in the service of the church. All this for 2 years. The political events of 1830 created a certain uneasiness among the clergy. They feared persecution. At that time, Baron de Montilet de Champdor proposed that I become his administrator. On the advice of the venerable bishop, I accepted. I closed the boarding school of Belmont to the great regret of the good people of the village, my pupils and their parents. So I went to the castle of Champdor with the firm intention of not letting myself be seduced by the mirage of money and of returning as soon as the time seemed favorable to begin the novitiate which I had planned and which I had long desired. In the castle I was really happy according to the world, but all that was far from captivating my heart. I was like a fish out of water, and I was trying to return to my natural way of life. However, the Baron absolutely wanted me to stay there. As soon as I saw that the strong fear at first in view of the political events of 1830 did not have the fatal consequences he had seen, immediately made every effort to return immediately to Belmont. I wished to devote myself body and soul to my first vocation, which I had not renounced my going to the castle of Champdor. I seemed to hear an interior voice telling me that in spite of my unworthiness and my few talents, God wanted to use me as an instrument to form a society different in its purpose from all the exciting ones, and which could be of great use, especially in catechesis, schools, and the service of the churches, functions which could be carried out by one or several brothers in the parishes. Along with the project of providing the church and society with the men I have just mentioned, I also had the idea of completing the work by wanting some of our brothers to be able to devote themselves when asked to all kinds of good works such as caring for the sick in hospitals and for prisoners in jails. The thought also came to me of providing asylum for abandoned children and poor orphans in order to train them in virtue and in the knowledge necessary for them to become good Christians and skilled farmers or craftsmen. Since Bishop Devi looked kindly on our establishment, God seemed to bless it in a particular way, for we did not know where to place the hostelers and novices. We lacked room. Our novices were fervent and obedient, and we expected much from them. In 1839, our holy bishop gave the habit of our institute to a number of novices and received the vows of 12 brothers. This was a great consolation, especially since I myself pronounced my vows forever. I was then solemnly installed in my functions as superior by Bishop Devi. In writing our constitutions and religious and regulations, I only intended to make known the rulers according to which I hope to live and die. I hope God has given me the grace to have done so with the wisdom and all men, the wisdom of the most prudent and the prudence of the wisest.